Hey, I decided to try a makeup video today, so I am in a different spot. This is my bedroom, and it's where I do my own makeup, and then I have my studio where I do makeup for clients. And today I wanted to do a drugstore brand eyeshadow look, and then the rest of the stuff will just be my daily things and maybe some things I'm trying out. So I already have my brows on, which is why they look so dark and a little crazy. I just use brow pencil from L'Oreal. This is maybe a shade too dark for me. I have it on auto replenish in brunette, and it's from before I was blonde. That's on my Amazon. So subscribe and save. Yeah, that's what it's called. So yeah, I might go for like soft brown at this point with my hair being blonder. Okay, so I like to start with something for my eyelids to neutralize them and keep eyeshadow on. Generally, I would do a drier concealer, but this is a few years old. It's probably expired. Don't do as I do. Sephora brand, and this is a peach color concealer. I think it's actually considered a corrector. Yeah, called Bright Future Correct Color Correctors. They have it in French too. So that's what I am using. And I have such natural darkness on my eyes, and I know a lot of you guys do too. So for those of us who have dark circles and were gifted with fine lines or have started getting them, it's really hard to find a concealer that will neutralize those dark circles and not crease up a whole lot. So I did put on an eye cream first and gave it plenty of time to sink in. That is a huge component of it. I've been using Clinique All About Eyes for years, and then I started looking at the ingredients, and this is Cetaphil Hydrating Eye Gel Cream, and it's really, really similar. A lot of the same ingredients. So I was like, I'm going to try it out, and sure enough, it's really good for underneath makeup. Some of the things that you want to do with eye creams are going to be more juicy and concentrated with anti-aging ingredients, but for daytime, that's not going to be helpful for you if you've got issues with creasing and darkness. So you can see that orange peachy corrector. Now, obviously my skin is more of like don't mind me, it's like a light medium. So what's going to correct my skin will not necessarily work for somebody with tan or deeper skin. And I would say usually for tan skin, I would go for a darker peach, and for deep skin, I would go for more of a orange. And that's really good for correcting. Basically, the depth of the orange will depend on the depth of your skin. So if you have fair skin, you're going to go for a very light peach. Mine is like a regular peach, lighter peach, but not like super bright white peach. So this is still a little hydrated feeling, and I don't really want them to feel that way on the lids so much, because then it gives more time to crease. So I have some banana powder from Ofra, O-F-R-A. This banana powder is quite yellow, and I'm just going to do a little bit of this with an eyeshadow brush. You can use a fluffier brush too. Sometimes I actually will take, I should have washed my brushes before doing this. Obviously, I don't use the same brushes on my clients. These are all my personal products, and I do not use them both on clients and on myself. Usually the good stuff goes to my clients, TBH. All right, so for today's eyeshadow look, I'm going with an old palette from Wet n Wild, because I figured a lot of people could probably find this really easily. This is Rosé in the Air, and I believe that this is a dupe of the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, so if you have that, it would also work. I like to start by laying down a matte shade in a color that's just a little bit darker than your own skin tone. So since I'm going to do rosy shades today, I'm going to do this. Otherwise, you could do this type of color, or if your skin tone is a little darker, you could do one of these. So I'm going to do this guy. And I have a lot of lid space. If you have less lid space, you might not want to shape things the same way as I do, but I like to do focus right on the upper center lid these days. Bring it in all the way and light pressure. So I'm not touching this yet, right? This will give a nice transition from the darker color that I'm going to do on the bottom into this lighter shade. I mean, it's not super light. You can see the difference already. I'm going to go back and do a little more. And this is just a little cheapy, fluffy brush from Essence. I always get like itchy nose while I'm doing my eyes. So little circles also. I think it's key to know, at least for the style of makeup that I like to do, that it's not about perfection. It's just about giving you a fresh, shaped definition. Or if you want to make a statement, you can. So that's all I'm going to do with that first step. So a little, what we call a rocket in the socket, a little back and forth windshield wiper motion kind of thing. So that's a matte shade. If you don't have either of these exact palettes, you could definitely do it with another matte color that's similar to your own eye shade. All right, so now I'm going to do a slightly less dark shadow, or slightly less fluffy brush. I'm trying to do more than one thing at a time. This is like a MAC 217, but it's actually the Morphe brush, M433. I don't love Morphe brushes, but if you do, cool. So I'm going to do this bright pinky shade and mix it, because it's a little bit brighter than I want to go, with this tan. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the side of the brush. See the powder that comes off? With these types, you're going to get a good amount of powder coming off. And instead of going quite as high, I'm going to do it right in the center crease. Hey guys, I'm doing a video right now. Okay, so the same backwards and forwards, just not quite as high on the eye. Hey guys, I'm doing a video, please. Oh my God, teenagers. Bright pink mixed with a little bit of the tan. So that way you're gonna get a little bit deeper color, but not quite that bright. So some people might look at this palette and see that bright pink and just think, oh, well, I can't do those colors, so there's no point. But again, that's only one color out of this entire palette, right? Like you get rid of that. Maybe those are too orange for you. You combine them with a little bit of this. So now I'm going to go in with just that orangey shade, or just that pinky shade, just to get it a little bit pinker. And it doesn't take much. I don't want, you know, a super bright look. I just want it a little bit rosier. I swear the kids didn't say a word all day until I started filming. It's like typical. They're in their rooms doing school. And yes, they do. They call me Joy because I am their foster mother. If you did not know, they're not being rude. I'm going to do the lid with this medium tone shimmery rosy brown. It's barely rosy. It's so hard for me to do this backwards. And for this, I'm using a flatter brush and I'm going to pat it on. So this is what's going to make it smoky, is doing a lid that isn't light. And I don't do smoky per se very often, but I've liked it here and there lately. So I figured I would show a look, and somebody commented that they liked my smoky eyeshadow the other day. So figured I would show how to do it. And, you know, it's one thing to see like a typical influencer who's got like amazing skin and no dark circles and no lines doing a shadow look. And then you're like, okay, well, how does that work for me? So hopefully my age and my darkness and the lines and all that, and even my allergy runny nose will feel more like you could do this. So underneath is going to be good too. Also get a little definition, kind of balance it out. I'm doing a flat brush again, and I'm just going to gently rock that underneath to kind of connect it. And this is much darker than I really want. So I'm going to take a little brush. Let me find a good little brush. I've got one over here. Yeah. This is like a little push or pencil brush, not a push brush. And I'm going to go in with this lighter shimmer. And I'll just kind of blend it out a bit. I'm going to do a little bit through here. I know everybody likes that bright inner corner of the eye. My eyes are kind of wide set, so I've been trying to avoid it, but there is something that just makes you look more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to have that brightness in there. And that works for any skin tone. All right, so I just like to kind of get it all rubbed in just a little bit. Don't be too rough. This is a black gel pencil, and I like to start with the bottom first, get in the inner rim, since we already have underneath lined. And when you blink, a lot of times it'll kind of transfer to the top. Any black gel pencil will do. This is a brand I've never bought before. I really like it, but I don't think you have to get the same brand. I mean, pretty much everybody makes a great gel pencil. You can get Almay, you can get L'Oreal, Maybelline, Tattoo. I mean, like all those drugstore brands. I don't know about CoverGirl, I'm sure. Yeah, they have like the Queen collection ones are really nice. So now I'm going underneath because I want to make sure to get all of like the whites that are next to my eye defined, and right up through here too. I kind of go up a little bit to get up in that area. And kind of almost tuck just the tip of your pencil underneath. So I have a meeting with my Stitch Fix supervisor here in like 15 minutes, so it can't take too long today. And now I'm just going to go over the outer half for now. And I'm going to take that same pencil-y brush, this guy, make sure none of the shimmery shadow is left on it, and soften everything up. And I like to take it out and up just a little bit. It's kind of a nice way to get a subtle wing. And then you can intensify that wing if you want just a little more. And I'm going to show you how I've been doing that. I've got a felt tip. I think this might be brush tip. Again, I just got this in a BoxyCharm, so I sort of gently, really light pressure, pull down gently. And you definitely want to go light on pressure on that outermost part, and that helps get the tip pointed. That doesn't look bad. It's hard to do these on camera. And the other eye. And I'm noticing I would like to do some brightening type of powder shadow underneath my brows just to give that a little bit more pop. I don't like to do anything with shimmer though for that area. Can't really see that well. Try not to pull on these, but also sometimes it's good to kind of check that area. So before I do that, oh my gosh, don't mind me. Before I do that brightening powder, I want to get my concealer started. No, I don't. I'll come back to it. Don't mind me. Okay, so this bone color, I'm just going to do pat, pat, pat right underneath the height of the brow. It just gives a little bit more pop. I don't do this all the time, especially for a smoky look. Sometimes you almost just want it to fade into your skin tone. So if you want that type of look, I think that's really pretty too. And then if you get more of a stark finish like this, you can go in with your crease brush and just soften it up a little bit. All right. Put this away. Oh my gosh, guys. Another little fun trick I like to do is add just a little pop of shimmer to the center of the lid. This is a Violet Voss shimmer shadow in Pretty in Pink. You can really do it with just about any. I don't think I'm getting enough payoff there though, so I'm gonna do roop, roop, my finger. I think you have to make that sound too. Roop, roop. Okay. What time is it? Okay, I've got like 20 minutes. Should be plenty. Hope I don't keep you that long. I use Born This Way foundation most days, and this color is Nude, which is my winter color. And then I usually like put in a little bit of warm nude, just like a half pump in with it as I get like any summer color. So I pump it right onto my hand, and I use a dampened beauty sponge, and I start with the center of my cheek. Some people like to start this part of their face. I start through here because it's where I have most of my discoloration, besides my under eyes, obviously. I don't take too much time with foundation on my under eyes since I'm going to go back with concealer. I do get a lot around my nostrils, with understanding that is because I have allergies. Okay, make sure you get around your jawline and your hairline. Don't want to see any demarcation, which you should not anyway, as long as it's blended, first of all, and second of all, if it matches. So I have to tell you, like, I've been watching The Bachelor this season, and there is a gorgeous girl who wears the yellowest makeup, Jasenia. She's so pretty, but has anybody watched it this season? Pretty into it, but just something I noted. I was like, people who know how to do their makeup but still choose the yellowest foundation, I don't get it. You want to like not go too pink, obviously, like I get that, but like that yellow looks like you're like a walking white yellow face. So yeah, this is kind of a lot of concealer, but this is also the Born This Way from Too Faced, and I'm going to give it a couple minutes to settle in before fully blending it out with my fingers. In the meantime, let's do something else. Ooh, let's contour. This is a contour stick from Shop Miss A called Sculpt Effects in Latte. And I'm going to use the same color that I did my crease color with. And then I'll just wash it up. Gotta wash my brushes anyway. So go right at the top of your ear, about halfway down, and then blend it all upwards. So you get that slightly more cut cheek look. All right, blending upwards. When you first put everything on, it always looks a little crazy. And then with what's left, I like to go on the top outer portion of my forehead. I do have like a little bit of a wide forehead. I think I've realized as I've lost some weight that I have a heart-shaped face, kind of a longer chin and a wider forehead, which I didn't know before. I just thought oval, round, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to use that same blending sponge and really get in there. And then I'm going to use my finger, and you want to pat. Do not drag underneath your eyes. Now we're getting somewhere. And then you notice I'm doing the same patting down the center of my face. This helps everything not settle into lines. And then I do like to set my under eyes, but you don't have to. Sometimes I don't like to set them, but lately I've been. I'm going to take like a fluffy blush brush and just gently go over them with some of the banana powder and down the center of my face and with whatever is left. I don't like to use much on the rest of my face. This helps so it doesn't crease up, but also it can be aging. So I'm going to make sure to add something that's a little bit more juicy on top. So either a setting spray or a mist of water. For bronzer and contour, I have the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster, and this stuff is great. I've repurchased it many times. I'm going to combine the two colors. I think they have a few different shades of it. And again, on that kind of square part of your forehead. But when you're contouring, what do you want? Like, do you have really angular cheeks already? You probably don't want to contour your cheeks, right? If you have a really short forehead or really narrow face, like, you don't want to do what I'm doing here. So make sure that you're kind of noting, if you've got a skinny, bony nose, you don't want to add any contour to the top to make it look slimmer. I've always disliked the width of my nose, but kind of like the length of it. I don't mind it. So I'm not gonna like shorten the tip because I don't care. All right, and I'm gonna keep the same brush. You know what, I'm gonna do a cream blush today. I'm trying to keep things mostly, or a lot of things at least, in the less expensive, more affordable range. This is e.l.f. and this was on clearance, so I hope they still have it wherever you are because it's really good. I just got it recently before No Buy January started, maybe end of December. You look like a little baby doll. And then gently tap it out. You can use your fingers, you can use a sponge, kind of do upwards. And a lot of the color is going to come from the pressure. So just keep that in mind. Some of that pink or red you're seeing now. And if you go a little too hard, you've got your sponge that's got a little concealer, a little foundation on it in your colors. So you can just dab right over it. It also takes away any powderiness. I use this underneath my eyes to take away powderiness too. Kind of give it real good spongy presses. So I will be on a call, so I'm gonna do a lip. This is Bite Beauty. I think somebody had asked me when I wore this the last time. What is this color? Oh my gosh, it's like microscopic, you guys. Like, wow. Rosé Glacé. It is so pretty. And the cool thing about Bite Beauty is that everything is food grade. So when you're putting something on your lips, you don't want it to have things that you can't ingest. Like, I mean, you're not supposed to like eat it, but you end up consuming a little bit of your lip product every time that you put it on. So it may as well be safe for you to ingest. I'm going to do a liner. Which one is this? Mauve from NYX. This is like a good old standby. It's probably a $3 pencil. And yes, I do it after lips a lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times. This will take down some of that metallicness just a bit. Now, if I was putting on a mask, I might just slick on something for comfort. But since I'm going to be on camera for a Zoom call, I think that looks pretty. So got 2 more steps left. I want to find, this is good, Revlon Photo Ready. This is a cream highlight. I'm going to put a little on my fingers and dab right over the tops of my cheeks. This is very, very subtle. So if you don't want to shine to the gods, this is not going to make you look greasy and it's not going to make you look too overdone. Just gives a little bit of natural glow to your skin. And then one of the most important steps, if not the most important step, is mascara. This is the Lash Paradise from L'Oreal in Carbon Black. I've been using this for years. Sometimes change up just to try other things. I will advise the first 1 or 2 times you use it, it's like not loaded up enough or something, don't pump it so it gets like full of product. You just got to go in with a couple more layers, but give it time, because about a week after you start using it, it will by far be the best mascara you've ever used. And I still have to make mascara face. At least a little bit. So I do a little bit of a wiggle and a push more than a drag slowly. A flick, I guess. So kind of a wiggle at the base and a flick up, because I really like volume. I mean, length is great and all, but I really want that definition. If you do like a little bit of a blink into it, if you have trouble with the flick, don't neglect your outer lashes. Don't neglect your inner lashes. Sometimes you have to turn to get to them a bit. So I feel like my brows looked super heavy when I started, and now you can see like it's all balanced, right? So this is a $10 mascara and it's fantastic. Sometimes you can even get it for like $6 or $7. I feel like Target has this for a really good price. So there is my rosy smoky eye. I've been doing this kind of look a lot lately with just smoky plus adding a little baby wing, because I like a wing. I hope you guys liked it, and I'm going to keep doing fashion content, and if you like the makeup content, I will start doing more of that and maybe actually go into my studio to do it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and go follow me on Instagram. It's State of Face Makeup or JoyMackey_fashion are my two Instagram accounts. My fashion account doesn't have that many followers yet because I basically just started it. There's some older posts, but they were just kind of like family and dogs and stuff. So yeah, like and comment and all that good stuff. All right, bye everybody.